Hey, and welcome to another Coffee with David. I'm David. Today we're going to be finally wrapping up this list of my favorite baseball movies to watch before the beginning of baseball season. Before we get started, a couple of things. At the end of this video, there's going to be a quick announcement. We got some big news happening here at Lonesome Sunday. And second, before we also start this video, here's my list of some honorable mentions that you should probably take a look at before the beginning of the season. The Sandlot.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Major League.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried.
A League of Their Own.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
42.
Maybe tomorrow we'll all wear 42. That way they won't tell us apart.
Hey, and of course, I think there's some other great films that you should check out, but I tried to stick to some narrative stuff. For documentary people, here's a couple that I think you should check out. Baseball by Ken Burns is fantastic. It's an awesome documentary with a complete history of the game. It takes several hours to devote to watching, so I hope you have a lot of free time to watch it, which we all kind of do right now during quarantine. And another one is The Battered Bastards of Baseball, which is currently available on Netflix. They're both great documentaries. I think everyone should check them out. They're just simply amazing. But like I said, trying to stick to narrative films that we're kind of talking about right now on the Coffee With list. So without any further ado, here is my number one. And if you judge the title already, you know what I'm talking about. Field of Dreams. Now, of course, there's a million and one things I can tell you about this film. It's been around since 1989, and most of us have seen it now. I can sit here and tell you how the shots are pretty, how the writing is almost like poetry at times, and how Annie's character it almost reminds me exactly of my wife. But since this film has been around for so long, I'm going to kind of talk about something a little bit different and why I think this should be one of the reasons that we should consider this the best baseball movie ever made. One of the reasons that I think it should be considered is the massive legacy it's left behind, not only in the movie world, but also the sports world. When we talk about the legacy or the pop culture influence this movie has left behind, it's just radiating across us over and over again here in the States. And I think it's just a monumental piece. But here, let's take a couple look at examples. AFI, for instance, has nominated this movie into a couple of its 100 lists. In pop culture, this film gets mentioned repetitively. You can probably think of a number of films that make references to it. One that pops into my head is an episode of Blue Mountain State where they built a football field in the middle of a cornfield because of a dream that Thad had. There are other references too. You might think about Field of Dreams 2, which was a parody that was made by Funny or Die, and it's got a lot of humor and references the NFL lockout. But there's also something else, too. You can probably think of How I Met Your Mother to be included on this list.
You wouldn't watch the same movie over and over again, would you? Maybe a great movie like Die Hard, but Field of Dreams? Once is more than enough.
So that's your go-to bad movie? The number one example on the tip of your tongue of a bad movie is Field of Dreams?
It's about ghost baseball players. I think it's stupid.
When Barney's bro code says one of the rules are, a bro never cries, except for the end of Field of Dreams, E.T., or when a sports legend retires. It's had a massive influence on us pop culturally. We know this movie. It's so ingrained into everything that we do, referencing it over and over again. Major League Baseball loves this movie too. In fact, this year the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox, which is one of the teams mentioned in the film, are going to be playing a game in Iowa in honor of Field of Dreams. And that's going to be a special piece of this season, including right in the middle of the corona outbreak.
Not only will it be the first time a Major League game has been played at the site, it'll also be the first time ever that a Major League game has been played in the state of Iowa.
But besides the pop culture and the National Film Registry and how Major League Baseball is trying to bank off of this film, there's something else at play here. And I know it gets overhyped a little bit in this movie from the fans' perspective, but I will say this: it has struck an emotional chord with anyone who has ever had a parent who taught them a sport, or just simply something that they have bonded with their parent over. This movie had so many people inspired and just falling in love with it that Fathers and sons from across the country went to Iowa just to play catch with their dad.
Also, in terms of just having a catch, or just in terms of their body language and their eye contact. So I think it's a film that really covers a lot of ground, and it really comes back to what Terrence Mann said in the movie about baseball is where you can go back when things aren't really going well in your life or in the world. Baseball kind of brings things back to normal. And I think that's why the American public is so enthralled with this movie, is because it kind of brings things back to normal, and we can think about what's good about our country and about ourselves and about our relationships.
Think about that. That's how much this movie has spoken to us on an emotional level, that people will go out of their way to go where this movie was filmed just to play catch. I know for me, as part of my weird little film traditions and so on and so forth, every year I watch this movie and I start weeping up a little bit. And every year, hey Dad, just wanted to say I love you. I kid you not, I do that every year. Every freaking year. And I don't think my dad has picked up on it yet. I just think he thinks it's weird that I'm calling him in the middle of the day sometimes. It's like, I love you, Dad. And he's just kind of like, love you too. Weird time for you to be calling me like that. Every season. I don't think he's picked up that like almost every April I make this phone call. So, we'll see how long it goes before he figures it out. But this movie is a classic. It really is. And it's left such a profound mark on us. I can't help but put it as number one on my list. And for me, those are my top 3 movies that I watch before every baseball season. So I hope that you check some of these out. They're really, really great. I really do. And yeah, I can't say enough about it. But in the meantime, please like this video, comment, tell me what your favorite one is. Maybe it's The Natural. Maybe it's one of those that were in the honorable mentions list, so on and so forth. The Rookie is probably one that should be in my honorable mentions list. I had an uncle who actually starred as an extra in that movie. So there's a ton more movies out there. So please let me know what your favorite one is, and we'll see if we can't talk about it next season. So until then, hey, wait a minute, I'm forgetting something. Huh.
The season winding down, and here at the last minute, Kansas City finds themselves in second in the division. They need a really good game from Corbin today.
You know, you just kind of have to ask yourself, what did Kansas City see in this guy?
Here's the pitch.
Oh, that's right. I got a short film coming out. Yeah, me and the guys here at Lonesome Sunday have been working on our little short film called Coming Home now for a while. It's taken us roughly about a year to put together. We've had a few delays. If you think that a year is a long time to be working on a short film, I can probably mention one for you real quick. But yeah, and then me going to Georgia, which hopefully this will be the last Coffee With that we have in Georgia. Fingers crossed on that, but so on and so forth. But we're really excited about this one. This is an awesome film. We had some great people working on it. Doyle Haverfield gave us a great performance. We also had Danny Welniak, who helped me do the commentary for this film. She is a sports director and reporter there in Kansas City, and she does a lot of work following the Kansas City Chiefs. So we've got a lot of good things on this. Bryce Kluger was our director of photography. He has some incredible shots in this film. I really, really encourage you to check it out when we bring it out. We're going to be entering it into some festivals first, but we will eventually put it here on the YouTube channel for you guys to watch. In the meantime, the trailer is also currently available. If you want to watch it again or whatever you want to do with it, please share it. We'd love to build some hype for this film, so it's available here on the channel, so please definitely check it out. But until next time and the next Coffee With, yeah, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe to this, so on and so forth. And until next time, I'll check you out on Coffee With. And, you know, maybe I'll go play a little catch or something.